Hello and welcome to Flashback Generations, episode 7 of our Imperial Assault reviews. This one is on the Imperial Snowtrooper, the Hoth releases. Pete, do you want to run us down? Run us through what these guys can do?
So the Snowtroopers, we've got the grey non-elite Snowtrooper card. It's 7 points. You get 3 of these guys. Reinforcement costs 2. Doesn't really matter in skirmish, or it does a bit, but not much. And these guys are, in a nutshell, Stormtroopers, but different, with different abilities. So they've got health 4, which is a step up. It is a step up from the normal Stormtrooper.
They were 3 before, yeah.
Yeah, so that's good. They've got speed 4, bog standard speed. 1 black dice for defence, that's bog standard.
Yeah.
The gun is the same as the Stormtroopers, blue and green. Shoot and attack. Their surges on the non-elite guys are Surge Weaken.
Weaken, okay.
Surge Pierce 1 and Surge +2 accuracy. So Weaken was the big new thing with Hoth, or not so big really.
So these guys actually have a different attack, because the normal Stormtroopers have +1 damage. These guys have a Pierce 1.
Yeah, that's a subtle difference, yeah.
Pierce 1 is a lot worse, in my opinion, because there's lots of things that can negate Pierce 1, or
that's it,
it's sort of it's kind of like the same but different, but being different, it's just worse all round.
Yeah, that's it. So, and then +2 accuracy, I think the Stormtroopers have that, don't they? The normal grey ones.
I don't think they're +1, or maybe they're +2, I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it's +2, I forget, but... And then the big ability that the Snowtrooper brings is, he loses what the normal Stormtroopers have, which is, if this guy's standing next to a friendly trooper, he can re-roll 1 attack die.
Which is very strong, yeah.
That's very strong, but these guys don't have that. They have special action environmental recovery gear. You and each adjacent friendly trooper may either recover 1 damage or discard 1 harmful condition. I'm sitting here stunned because I've just played 3 tournament games with these guys and I didn't realise you could discard a harmful condition. I thought only the red ones had that, but yeah, that's a slap in the face for me, but never mind.
The harmful, that's a very strong ability. I think that, to me, these guys, they're 7 points, which I think is a bit of an obscure number. But it's worth taking 1 group of these just because they've got that ability. That's extremely strong.
So you do lose the re-roll, but these guys are trooper keyword as well, so they still give out the re-roll to nearby normal Stormtroopers. So you don't lose everything in that respect. And they've got this, every figure adjacent to them can recover a damage. This is great for anti-blast stuff. So if some Stormtrooper takes a hit and 4 of his mates around him are blasted for 1, then this guy can run in later and get in the same position and remove that blast. So it's basically a blast nullifier. Also, you get 3 of these guys on the card, so if you've got one of your red elite Stormtroopers who's on 4 damage and about to die, you can activate the Snowtroopers, rush them in 1 by 1 and heal 1, heal 1, heal 1.
Heal 1, you're going to get them up 3 life, I can see that being very, very strong.
It can be good if that guy, you need to keep him alive because he's in a crucial position or he's about to do something important. So yeah, I wouldn't take loads of these guys, but definitely 1 card of 3.
No, I think the grey guys are actually very strong just because they have that ability. Oh, what do the red ones do different?
Right, the red ones, so we're shooting. It's a different story really, because we're shooting up to 10 points now.
10 points, right? So that's a quarter of your list.
Yeah, it's a serious points
for these healers. Yeah. Okay.
They've got Pierce 2 instead of Pierce 1.
Yeah.
Which is okay. They've got +3 accuracy rather than +2, which is okay. They've got Surge, and then it says Focus, Weaken, which is weaken with focus added, obviously. So you spend a Surge, you get focused, and you weaken your target.
Don't they get both of them?
They get both of them on 1 Surge, yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise that.
Basically, you spend a Surge, you apply those abilities to the attack.
Yeah.
Obviously, for both of those conditions, you need to do a damage before you can spend the Surge to do that.
Yes.
And they've got the environmental recovery gear, which is exactly the same as the grey guy. Each adjacent friendly trooper may either recover 1 damage or discard a harmful condition. So that's quite versatile. You could have 1 guy wounded and 1 guy stunned nearby.
Does that work on yourself?
Yeah, you yourself, you and each adjacent friendly trooper. So they can keep themselves going as well. I think it's meant to be squad shield or something like that type thing. These guys have also got efficient travel, which is you ignore additional movement point costs for difficult terrain and hostile figures. So it's a nice little boost.
It is, but
it's good for those blue water squares or jumping over bar tops in the cantina, you know.
Yeah, okay. It's not bad, but mobile is still a stronger keyword because you can actually go through your red.
Everything,
It's the red squares that are still blocking everything.
Yeah, mobile is sort of like nimble animals and hovering things. These guys are just, they've got very bouncy Wellingtons on, so they can spring through water easy.
I see, yeah.
They've got the big thing. One big thing with them is they've got health 6 rather than 4, so that's 2, 4, 6 extra health on the card compared to the grey one. The rest is the same: speed 4, black defense, blue green shooting gun attack.
Right. So are these? Big question here: are these guys better than the grey guys? Which ones are better?
Well, yes, they're better because they do more stuff.
Obviously, but they cost 3 more points. Is it worth 3 points just to have the ability with focus for later turns? How much more life do they have? Did you say?
2 each, 2 extra each. So this health 6, which is respectable. A solid attack will still take 1 down in one round of shooting.
Yeah.
Somebody like, I don't know, Royal Guard champ attack is going to cut through this guy easy.
They're still Pierce 2.
Anybody with focus and a half decent gun could probably wipe one of these guys out immediately, you know.
So how much focus? Here's my problem with them. They're blue-green attack, okay?
Yeah.
There's only so much surges they're going to generate off these 2 dice, okay? Now, the yellow dice, I would have said, right, they're going to go surge crazy, but these dice, they don't. They do have surge capabilities, more so than the red dice, but green is okay for it, but not great. The blue is a little bit so-so, you know, they're very 50-50.
Yeah.
If you're going to be getting these surge abilities off, and you have to put them on something, you want to be getting as many of these off as possible. It seems like it's always going to be put into Pierce too, so you can actually do any damage. So then I'm looking at it thinking that your weaken and focus part is actually wasted.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I think that.
I know what you mean. I mean, you often with a blue-green dice, just a blue-green dice, get 2 surges, but then you're not getting much damage then, are you?
The most you can get is 2 surges.
Yeah,
in there.
Actually, yeah.
And then your opponent's going to have to block that, and they're going to block it, and then you're spending your surges on actually getting through their attack.
Yeah, so I see what you mean. So the focus weaken is like bottom of the list, and it's not going to be often that you're going to get to use it.
So I'm saying that this is not. For that reason, I'm nearly looking at it thinking you're never going to be getting off the double surges. So you're not going to get a focus weaken off. That should just be a lucky bonus that you get off now and then. So I think the 7-point guys are actually worth it more. That's the way I'm reading it.
Well, the thing that these guys bring is the healing, you know, and they both do that equally well.
They do it equally well. So then again, you're saving 3 points to do this. So if you ignore that, then you're just looking at it. You get Pierce 2 instead of Pierce 1. And then you're going to get 2 extra life. Now the extra 2 life is actually worth quite a lot because of the amount of damage you can take, and then they can heal it back themselves. But then again, I'm looking at it going, if you want to heal with these guys, they shouldn't be in the thick of the combat anyway.
No, they should. Early game, they should be lurking.
They're in the back.
Mid to backfield. I mean, they do need to be mid because if some guy goes forward and gets damaged, you need to make sure you can get there and do the heal.
Even you want to move them forward, heal, and then walk backwards again.
Yes.
You know, so
yeah.
Again, though, I feel like the difference with life there still is unimportant because you still want the, they're doing the same job.
Yeah.
And their job is they're not going to win a fight. No matter how much life they have.
These guys are basically adding extra lives to your other guys, you know, and themselves.
And so their attack, you can nearly write their attack off. That's the way I see it. You're relying on the rest of your troopers to actually attack. Yeah, your other troopers are doing more. They're doing direct damage. They've got rerolls, so they're actually doing it better than these guys are ever doing it in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, you do shoot these guys occasionally, but you're not expecting anything. You always got like a little sinking feeling when you think, right, well, I've got to shoot that guy again. Oh, who's around? Oh, there's a Snowtrooper coming around the corner on his own. Even if he was with somebody, he can't get a reroll. It's just last resort if shooting with these guys. It happens because, you know, if you're breaking your force up to go 2 different ways around the map, you'll send 2 snowtroopers one way, 1 trooper the other way. So you might end up with 1 guy, nobody to heal, and he just shoots, but nothing much ever happens.
Alright.
You can get the 4 damage, you know.
Are we in agreement then that the red ones aren't as good as the grey ones?
I don't think the red ones are worth it, no.
No, I don't think so either.
No.
Okay, great. The grey ones win.
Definitely.
End of story. Right. What do these guys work well with, and what do they not work well with? Let's just put it on the table. They work really well with troopers, but they don't work well with anything but troopers.
That's it, yeah.
Do they work well without troopers though?
No, because the whole reason to bring them, which is
you
can heal troopers, only works on troopers. So
Saint Kamos.
Saint Kamos is a trooper, yeah.
He's a trooper, so he can actually benefit from these guys quite a lot.
You could have 3 bodyguards, you know, all healing him up as he blasts away.
If he needs it. So I think that he's one of the only characters at the moment for the Empire that could actually benefit from
pretty
these
much,
guys.
yeah. I think everybody else is just leader, aren't they?
Yeah. So otherwise, you know, if you're, how many points on troops have you spent to make these guys worth taking as well? Are you taking a trooper spam and that's the only reason you take these guys, or would you take if you take, say for instance, you've taken 2 red groups, would you do it then?
2 red stormtrooper groups?
Yep.
Yeah, I would. I think I'd take 3 greys. I might do. It's interesting maths there, because those guys have got 5 health each, haven't they?
Yes.
So they can take a bit of a knocking before they die. If you've got 3 of these guys running up and down behind the lines, healing them all, especially like getting in between them and healing 2 or 3 of them at once, that will keep 6 red stormtroopers going for quite a long time.
Exactly.
The trouble is, the situation you need there is where everybody's allowed to just stand around shooting at the enemy, being shot, and there's no need to move around the map too much. But I suppose even if you move, you can still do it. The trouble is, the snowtroopers can get left behind if the whole force needs to be on the move, because if they're healing, they're only going 4 squares. You know, 4 squares heal, 4 squares heal.
I see. Yeah.
And the other guys might be needing to dash off. You know, I'd definitely give it a good try. Yeah.
Okay.
Worth trying.
Okay, well there you go. So our verdict is you only take these guys with troopers, otherwise don't bother. I don't see them working otherwise as well. Their big ability does that. Stormtroopers are cheaper and do the same thing as them better, but obviously not healing. Okay, well do you want to move into the command cards?
Yeah, command cards. So we've got 3 command cards that actually none of these are trooper only. Because we kind of covered those in other episodes.
Yeah, we're getting through. We're going to get through cards, and when we do them, we'll just go for cards that actually relate to or benefit.
Or as Si's done here, he's gone for cards that actually have a picture of a stormtrooper on.
Stormtroopers, yes.
So we'll start with the 0 point card, which is set for stun. It's 0 points. You can have 1 in your deck. Any figure can use it, and it's special action. Perform an attack. If the target would suffer 1 or more damage, reduce the damage suffered to 0, then the target becomes stunned. There you go. So
that's the entire thing. So
right. Well, okay.
Okay. The reason I put this card in this deck is because you need a weak attack. Pretty much. You're just, you know, if you're only doing 1 damage half the time, you are better off saying, you know what, I don't want to do a damage. If this is a 10, you're shooting Luke Skywalker, and he's got his full life, you're better off shooting Luke and putting a stun token on him than obviously
exactly. That's what I was thinking.
1 damage.
This is 4 characters, you know, fighting characters only.
This is your big, whoever their big character is, and whoever needs 2 actions to do their big actions and stuff. You know, you stick it on them, and you kind of say, I don't care. I know I haven't done any damage, but you've put a token on that's going to really hurt them mobility wise, or you know, even close combat characters.
Do you know what the combo is? If you got this in your hand and you've got a good few troopers, and you've got Luke Skywalker or Royal Guard Chombo, some horror bearing down on you, and you happen to have the covering fire card.
I know.
Then you need to think.
I know you're going to say that.
Yeah. You play the covering fire at the start of the round. That's where every trooper gets surge stun. But if the target's already got stun, then it's +2 damage. So Luke's coming at you. You're scared of Luke. You throw down covering fire. Maybe the first guy uses this card. You know.
Oh yeah, great. Yeah, you stick it on. It's someone who you go. I just want to get 1 damage, and I just want it to go off.
Yeah.
And that 1 damage then it's suddenly worth so much more.
Yeah, and then everybody opens up with covering fire, +2 damage on every shot, and Luke's going to vaporise, you know. Yeah, so a nice little card, I like it, yeah.
Okay, a change of scenery. We just got home, so we're going to discuss the next card. Next up we have Change of Plans. It's the one with Lando surrounded by Stormtroopers. It's 1 point, and you can only have 1 in your deck. It says, use after you resolve a group's activation. Exhaust 1 of your deployment cards to ready 1 other deployment card of equal or lower deployment cost that shares at least 1 trait. This is a good one for troopers because obviously if you got a trooper swarm, then you don't have to worry about sharing the traits.
Yeah.
So this one, you know, brawlers and things as well, I can work with them quite well. You know, if you've got these lists that are built around these individual traits.
Yeah. So what you're doing here is you're exhausting a deployment card in order to ready 1 other deployment card. So basically, if you've got, let's say, a group of troopers on one side of the map and they're not doing much, but you want to ready another group of troopers somewhere else who've already had their activation.
Yeah,
you can do that. Now,
this is like this to me is actually a pretty good card because this is literally a double tap. You can double move somebody. You can double shot. You know, with 1 group of Stormtroopers.
Yeah. I mean, the opponent knows it's coming because you're only readying the card. You're not activating that new card, so they can see them coming if you like. So
it's a powerful last option though, and your opponent doesn't necessarily know you have it in your hand.
Yeah.
So. This is the sort of thing that you can really kill someone off when they think that they got someone who's safe. You know, after your last volley of fire, and you got whoever, Chewie, or you got a character down to his last few wounds.
I think that's the main use, isn't it? Yeah. So if your opponent's assuming that group of troopers or brawlers or whatever it is all done and activated, they're safe. They can walk past them or whatever, and then you swap the activation out from some other group to the group they've exposed themselves to, then yeah, that's probably the main use of the card.
The hard thing about this is the equal or lower cost. That otherwise you could, for some reason I had it in my head that you could spam lower cost to make the bigger guys, but no, that's not going to work.
Yeah. Yeah. So you are giving away quite a lot. I mean, it depends on how your forces are laid out at the time. You presume there's there's some card that's not fully in the fight, but you'd rather use somebody else twice. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's an interesting card, and I think it's a good card to really have up your sleeve. I don't think it's a real game changer. You know, it's because it's.
I think it could turn a game, but I think it'd be quite rare in the circumstances where it would. It's an odd one. It would come up every now and then. My worry with it is that when that situation comes up, you've got to have that card in your hand, and pound to penny, that card won't conveniently be in your hand when that perfect scenario comes up. So it's something that you may be able to use at times if the timing's right and the situation's right.
Yeah.
I'm worried about this other card that you're exhausting though. What are they doing?
Yeah, I know what you mean, because typically when you have a trooper swarm,
it's a very slim game.
You have all the troopers in one group,
yeah,
and it's not like you rarely have one group doing nothing. So the only thing I can actually really see that advantageous about this card is if you've got one card with 1 troop left. That's the card that you're going to exhaust.
There you go.
Suddenly you've had 2 activations with the 3 guys who are left, and that's a very strong ability if you do that. So as a late game, I think it's actually pretty powerful, and you can really catch people unawares with this.
Yeah, that's it. So if you've got 1 trooper left on a card, you really don't care about it. That is a massive benefit, actually. Yeah, good spot there. So.
Okay, and we'll move on to our last card. This is not specifically a trooper card again, but this is Squad Swarm. It's 2 points, and you can have 1 of them in your deck. Use after activating a group. You may immediately activate another ready group with the same name. The combined cost of both groups cannot exceed 15 points. So this is the bigger brother of the 1 point card that lets you do the 12 points. So this being 15 obviously is to make room for your Snowtroopers or your elite. Like you can have an elite group and a 6 point little group.
Yeah.
So this
Or a
is
7,
actually
7 and a 7, a 6 and a 6.
7 and 7. So essentially, what this has done is it's actually allowed you to have two of these trooper swarm groups together.
Yeah.
Now it's not a trooper only card, but
No, it could be
but the picture
2
has
Royal
troopers
Guards
on it.
followed by 2 other Royal Guards or something like that.
No, because they're 8 points each.
Ah, too expensive.
So
yeah.
the hard part about this is you need the same name. So
Yeah, so Rebel Saboteurs.
yeah,
It's
the
gotta
cheap
be-
ones will work. Oh no, actually,
How much is a red one?
7, aren't they?
7 and 7. That's fine. That's 14.
They're fine.
So yeah, that's the game, isn't it, with this one? So this is an activation rush, and the time when you want to do an activation rush is when you are peppering a hero with shots, and you don't want him to slip away, and you don't want him to.
There is a lot of big moments with this card where
Yeah.
you really know that I need to kill that thing now, because I mean most of the time everyone's experienced the game where you go in, you nearly kill something, his activation, he shoots at that guy and he runs away.
Yeah.
That's the most common thing I'll have. IG-88 is absolutely the bane of most people.
Well, that's it. He recovers him. You shoot him, you get him down, and then he starts shooting and recovering.
He recovers himself. But this
You
card,
get nowhere.
this card says you're not doing that because we're going to take you out, and 2 squads of stormtroopers will do that.
Yeah, there'd be a lovely combo with this and the covering fire card. Where all troopers get a stun, and if the target's already stunned, add 2 damage. If that's active during the turn when you use this, can be really devastating to pretty much any model.
Yes,
Maybe handy for Banthas in the future.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good one as well. If you know that, if you think that your troopers are just about to die and you've got 2 groups of them, it can win you a game in that one turn. You can go from that, you thought you were going to lose to you've definitely won the game. For 2 points, I think this is a must-have for if you've got these swarms of whatever you have. The hard thing about it is definitely the same name. So then it's relying on you to build your list with great. Pretty much.
Yeah, and plus one rookie mistake I made, because I did try this a few weeks ago when I was first getting back into the game, sort of thing, is you're using it at the wrong time. Only make sure you're using it at the absolute optimum time, which is when you're pressurising some big target. And you really want to do lots and lots of damage on it in one swoop. Yeah,
I can imagine you can get quite impatient with this card, and you just you throw it away willy nilly because you have it in your hand, and you just think, I'll do it now, whatever. So a late game, this is mid to late game, this is a changer. I think the start of the game, hold it.
You definitely.
Can probably hold on to it unless there's something that must be killed. But okay, let's move on and talk about the models. Pete, what's your opinion on the models?
Oh, the Snowtrooper models, they're really good. I've painted mine up and rebased them, so they look exactly like the Snowtroopers should do, really. I
think they are the nicest models they've actually produced. Maybe the ATST is my favourite model, but that's a different kettle of fish, isn't it? Because it's huge.
Yeah.
But as the individual models, I think that these are just so iconic. They've got this aura about rushing in, they've actually got quite a dynamic pose about them, and they're all the same pose, but they actually look very good together.
They're kind of walking forward, holding the gun up ahead and aiming, they're shooting at somebody whilst walking briskly forward.
I like them more than the normal Stormtroopers, the models. These, I'm going to give these a 10 out of 10. They're so easy to paint, and they look brilliant when you paint them. So these are my favourite model in the game, I think. Yeah,
they're a good one. I wouldn't say they're my favourite, but they are a very faithful representation. Can't fault it, really. I painted them so it's spray white a few times, then wash it black, brush white again, and then what I've done is on the cloth bits, which is around the arms and the legs. If you look at pictures from the movie, the cloth bits are quite grubby and sort
of
tarnished. Yeah. So you just put a bit of sepia or brown wash on those bits, and then gloss up all the armoury bits, and you're done. Black up the gun, and away you go.
They look awesome.
Very quick job to do, and they look great straight away.
I look forward to a future episode when we hear about what Pete's favourite model is too. Anyway, okay.
I'm gonna spoil it now, Bantha.
Bantha. That'll be a future episode. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Cheerio.